Hello and welcome to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we're going to be doing the July 1st to July 8th reading for the sign of Aquarius. We're going to get right into it with the Romance Angel Oracle deck. Pull out your two cards, two energies, right? Messages, right? Because we're going to be looking at the main stage event relationship for the week. Whatever the main dynamic is that's taking center stage for you, whether it's a family, a friend, a lover, a job, right? Someone on your job, a boss, whatever the relationship is that's going to be, you know, the main event in your life this week, that's what we're going to look at. All right, let me get your two cards out. All right, Aquarius, your first card out is Retreat. Interesting, that came out as well, I think, for Sagittarius. And Honeymoon. Interesting. So you could be retreating together and away from the world, disconnecting, going on a honeymoon, having some time off, right? Yeah, let's see what this is all about. We'll get right into your 7 cards and see what these are all about, Aquarius. Show me what's going on for Aquarius. July 1st to July 8th. Lovely Aquarius, water bearer, air sign, right? Show me. I'm going to see a clear picture for the Aries that have tuned into this video. Those who are subscribed and not subscribed, even if they're surfing the web, they've come to this video, right? Come here for a reason, so we'd like to get a nice clear picture that can resonate with all of the Aquariuses tuning in some way, right? Show me. All right, Aquarius, your main card for this week for the relationship is, oh, we're upside down, excuse me, oh, interesting. Let me see, are we upside down? No, we're not. Okay, here we go, Magician in reverse. All right, so I rarely get cards in reverse, okay? So that was why I thought the cards were turned over. That's Magician upside down. Queen of Wands is coming out. The Devil. Wow. And 6 of Wands. Right? And then your partner's got the Tower, the Hierophant, and the 3 of Wands. So, bottom of the deck is 10 of Swords. Wow. This is really kind of interesting reading, Aquarius. So first of all, let me get to the bottom of the deck. 10 of Swords is talking about the end of a struggle. It's the end of a stage of your life. You're now different, right? You're moving forward as a different person. The old you has died as a consequence of multiple kind of encounters, trials and tribulations, kind of things that you've gone through, right? And you've kind of ended that cycle. You've evolved. You've probably learned a lesson or two, right, along the way. And it's just the end of a very kind of bitter, difficult time in your life and the start of a new part of your life, which is almost, you know, oftentimes is yet to be determined what that will be like. But you know for a fact that you are a different person, a more evolved person, because you've learned a lot of the lessons of this last period. Now, coming out with the Magician in reverse, which is very rare because I do clear my decks between readings. So this is very much a kind of feeling of being sort of like stopped, right? So Magician in reverse here is like, despite everything you're doing, wherever you turn, whatever attempt you're making is being blocked in some way. Though you have all the skills, you have all the knowledge, you have all the wisdom, there's really not more that you can learn, right? But right now, manifesting seems to be impossible. Your energy is just absolutely blocked. Why it's blocked, we don't know. We're going to get into this reading. It could be environmental. It could be the people that you're around. It could be that your intention, right now. It could be your emotional intention. But for all intents and purposes, you feel like you have everything at your disposal. You feel like you should be able to manifest whatever you desire. When I say that, I mean, like, for instance, maybe you're someone who's worked very hard on kind of like your spiritual side, and you've learned a lot, and yet and still you find yourself constantly blocked, unable to get the message, unable to clearly define what it is you're trying to seek. You know, it could be that, like, you know, you're meditating, now all of a sudden your meditations aren't working. You know, you keep finding yourself falling out of meditations. You know what I mean? Could be, that's an example, right? Could be, say for instance, if it's not a spiritual thing, say for instance, it's whatever to do at work. Say you're the master artist at work, but for some reason recently it's like you can't seem to draw, you can't seem to get the inspiration when you do things, when you attempt to create something, it just all goes cockeyed and sideways. You find yourself drawing things that you had no intention of drawing. You know what I mean? Like, that's if you're an artist. It's all of this kind of energy, you know? You just have no idea why you're not able to accomplish what you want to accomplish. But it's like you keep trying, throwing it out there, and it's not coming back. You see yourself as the Queen of Wands right now, Aquarius. So you are being kind of cagey and careful, right? You realize you've been through a lot. So Queen of Wands has been through a lot. She's the queen who's kind of like been through the fire. She's been through a lot of very difficult scenarios, right? A lot of difficult situations where she's had to choose. She's had to choose whether or not, you know, which path to take depending on her moral compass, right? She has had to be really brave. She has had to be resourceful, right? She's the Queen of Wands, and she has had to find very creative solutions to difficult issues and problems. Queen of Wands could be somebody who found themselves, perhaps with them and their 2 children, without a job, on the street, and having to very quickly come up with a creative way to survive, right? Without selling her soul, her body, or compromising her moral center or compass, right? And she does it. She finds a way. She's strong. She's courageous. She's innovative. That's the Queen of Wands, right? So somebody who's reached Queen of Wands level in their life has been through some things, right? They're now at a stage, though, where they're making better decisions. They're making good decisions. They're able to kind of like get themselves out of scenarios that before they may have succumbed to, they may have been fallen victim to. They now are able to now see those type of scenarios coming a long way away. So even more interestingly, for you to be in this space, you are even more kind of disconcerted about your inability right now to kind of hop over any obstacles, right? Queen of Wands also has a good sense of her faith and confidence in her, like, in her extrasensory abilities and her knowledge of the occult and mysticism, and it's always indicated by the black cat at her feet. So she's very well-rounded and spiritual queen, but she is also a cautious queen, and she also has high intuition, certainly being Queen of Wands. And so as the Queen of Wands, you can tell when something's wrong. And right now, you know something's wrong, like something doesn't feel right with you in your world. You feel kind of off, right? Certainly with this magician energy being blocked. Now, your income's the 15, the devil, right? First 5 is the Hierophant, which your partner has. So you've got the 5s in the major arcana represented with the devil on top coming out for you. This is the position for how you see the other person in this dynamic, right? And remember, I said this is the dynamic that's taking the center stage this week, right? So whatever that is, this person, you see them as someone absolutely not good for you, someone who tempts you, someone who kind of like, their energy is not conducive to you. Oftentimes, the devil is a very misunderstood card, because the devil is also the god Pan, and Pan is the god for creativity and enjoyment, expression, ultimate expression of the individual. Remember that the devil represents our carnal desires and passions, our lusts, right? Now, remember, it's through passion and lust and desire that we have sex, and it's through sex that we create the most beautiful thing in the world, which is a child, a baby, ultimate creation, another life. So, you know, it may be quite simple for some to just simply associate the devil card with being evil in some way, but I mean, you know, if you really understand the true nature of this card, this is the card for Capricorn. This is the card for the ultimate expression of creativity as it is manifested in the material plane, right? And the things that spur our creativity are our sex drive, our libido, our kundalini energy, that fire that is in our groin area, the sacral chakra, right, which is the area of the reproductive organs. That kind of natural fire that is in there that kind of spurs us on towards our desires, that is the fire that we need for creation. We need that for all forms of creation. You know, now when you focus that energy, this is how you get works of art. You get masterpieces are created. Plays that have been playing for 100 years are created. You know, humans are really at their truest and best when they exalt that energy and focus it in a creative way, right? When we combine that energy with someone else, we create children. Ultimately, you know, ideally, we create another life, right? Now, when not focused and when not connected to a higher spiritual center or code or compass, right? When not connected, when that chakra at the bottom in that area, the second one up from the root, right? So not the root, but the second chakra, when that chakra is not connected to the heart and the seventh and all of the other ones that help us be in tune with ourselves, that is when we become addicted. That is when we see the dark side of the devil. And here, this person represents for you the dark side of the devil, right? The disconnect of all of that passion with any kind of moral center. And that's when you become lustful. That's when you search for cheap satisfaction, quick satisfaction, right? What they call, you know, instant gratification, right? That's when we search for instant gratification. We instantly want to gratify that yearning, that search for pleasure, right? That kind of needing to somehow quell those fires, right? Which normally would come from focusing them and creating something. Then you get an ultimate satisfaction. But that quick satisfaction comes through sex, drugs, you know, addictions, alcoholism, you know, being addicted to shopping, being addicted to all kinds of things, right? All of those type of things that we associate with devil energy, that is what happens when you don't focus that. And, you know, you then become a slave to those emotions, right? And so this is why you see those people kind of chained to the altar of the devil. I go in depth with this card because it is a misunderstood card, and it is a major arcana card, and it is how you see your person. And interestingly enough, your person sees you as the Hierophant. Now, I'm going to get into the other cards, but just for the sake of explanation here, you can see the connection with these two fives, one being the Hierophant and the devil. Let me put it this way so the five comes first, right? But you can also see both are exalted. Both are taking up center stage in the card as a being to be worshipped. Whereas in the Hierophant is the ultimate sort of representation of the spiritual on earth for us, right? And so he's being exalted in his spiritual, his religious clothing. He's being praised by two priests, right, who have vowed their commitment to the higher, you know, to the spiritual goals in life, whatever they are for you, which is why he's represented as a Hierophant, because that could be many things to many people. It's not one religion, but it is whatever spirituality means to you. He is a symbol of that commitment to that higher thing, right? That higher belief. Here, that's the first five here, and also five being the number of power struggles. So here our power struggle is not, we don't seek the power struggle. We commit ourselves, right, to our higher selves. And so we understand there is no struggle. We understand that as we commit ourselves, we will naturally follow the path we are meant to follow. Now here we go on this side. And we find the devil, the next 15, right? And so again, we have this figure being in the center. He's being exalted. He's being praised, but he's being praised by us in our nakedness. We're chained. We're not really free. We're chained by our addiction, right? We're chained by our ignorance. We've lost the connection to the divine, and so we don't see the creative side that the devil can pose. We don't see the creativity through which we can actually rise above this energy, right? And so in this card, it's really signifying the worst, almost in many ways, the worst of the devil, right? And so again, the power struggle is there. Now the struggle exists between, you know, our higher selves and our lower desires. So here the struggle is alive, but our lower desires are winning, right? And here it is our higher self that wins, and we are at peace, we are at calm, because it is ultimately our higher selves that should be guiding us. Here we are in change because we shouldn't, you know, we being guided by the more baser emotions is a kind of slavery, right? There are no chains here on this side. These two monks commit themselves willingly. And so that's the difference, and that's also the connection between the 5 and the 15, the Hierophant and the devil. However, interestingly enough, your person sees you as the Hierophant. They see you as a higher spiritual compass. They see you. It could be, and this is what I believe also. I think this is quite a toxic relationship in a lot of ways, right? And I'll tell you why. Because it's almost, and I want to say that this individual, you know, could be good for you, but the problem is that for them, you are like a savior, right? They are in turmoil. The Tower is their card for them. All right, so when you have the Tower representing you in the reading, you are in absolute turmoil. Not necessarily just your surroundings, your environment, your life, but it is you who are in turmoil, and it is you who is constantly like building up and tearing down your own tower, right? And so they see you as this kind of savior, this kind of person that's going to help them out, you know. But you know what I mean? They're very toxic. They're so, you can't help this individual, right? Because the problems that they have that cause them this much kind of turmoil in their lives goes so far back, it's not anything that you can do for them. I don't even know that they choose to, if they really want to help themselves. I think they almost are just kind of obsessed with you. I wouldn't be surprised. You see them as like a pariah at this point, you know, like you just want them away from you. It doesn't matter what they say to you or how much they kind of try to schmooze their way or act like it's not their fault or whatever. You almost see them as like a manipulator. You can see that they're manipulating you. You can see that every time you do anything with this person, it turns to shit. It's like this type of person is like everything they touch turns to shit. You know what I mean? Every time you try to engage with them, it turns to shit, right? You regret it. It's like it costs you something. And you see this relationship here, 6 of Swords, you are like desperate to get away. Like you don't want this. You want to move towards harmony, right? And it's like you're turning your back on this relationship. You don't see this relationship. I don't believe you see this relationship as part of your path towards harmony. It's like you're turning your back on it. You're on this boat, turning your back on this person. And I think a lot of what you're going through right now, this kind of blocking, is because you need to cut this individual out. It's like I said, every time they're in your life, whatever you deal with turns to outer shit. And it's almost as if you can't even explain why. And you're so sick of it because you've been through it for so long, 10 of Swords, and you're done. Right? You can see, you know, the old you is done with all of that. You've now risen above that. You're in your Queen of Wands. Like I said, Queen of Wands is transformed. And I think retreat is the word of the day. Very much so. Retreat is the word of the day. Right? But now you have honeymoon here. And I think it's quite interesting that you have honeymoon there as well. Enjoy bliss of holiday time together. Because this individual sees their relationship with you as progressing and going forward. It's almost as if they're delusional. Right? It's almost as if they're delusional about where and what your relationship really is. You know? It's like they're in such turmoil and they're so used to you being their kind of little savior, right? That they are blindly refusing to accept that you're moving on. They're blindly, I mean, these two characters, this, you know, you're moving, you have your back turned and so do they, but they're looking at the horizon with 3 of Wands being bonding and loyalty and unity. They're thinking of your relationship as a form of bonding and loyalty. They feel like that, that you are part of their future. This Three of Wands is looking forward to the future, manifesting your dreams, and you are part of it, whereas you are looking forward to a future without them. Six of Swords is not a move, it's a departure. The Six of Swords is sixes talk about a journey towards harmony, right? The Six of Swords is the first stage of that journey, which is the decision to depart. So oftentimes the Six of Swords is depicted with the burning city, or whatever area you're leaving behind is looking very barren or on fire or in turmoil, right? Because the Six of Swords, the three parts of journeying towards harmony begins with the decision to depart or whatever negativity you're in now. Then the decision to journey towards harmony, making that commitment, and then the journey itself. Here in Six of Swords, you're in the beginning stage, which is the departure. So you're seeing this relation, you're departing from this relationship, right? There's a departure. You see yourself departing from this relationship away from the negativity. So this person is not part of your journey forward. They're not part of that stage of the six or of the journey. You see what I'm saying? They're not part of the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups will be the journey, right? Together. The journey together towards harmony. Six of Swords is simply the departure from this person. Right? Six of Discs is the decision to make the journey towards harmony, the decision and the commitment. So, this is a toxic, weird relationship, Aquarius. I don't want to say necessarily so weird, but only weird in as much that you two are so on different paths. And until this is kind of all dealt with, you're just going to be stuck, because this needs to stop. This is a type of relationship where they're kind of toxic. This person is one of these individuals where their energy actually like rolls off of them whether they wanted to or not. This isn't a case of them. Now, please don't think that, they're like, I'm saying that this person is doing voodoo. And, look, magic is faith. Once you understand that, you understand that no one could ever really, truly work any magic on you. Magic is simply about faith and your personal faith in it. However, this person's individual vibration is so out of control and so full of chaos and entropy, I want to say, that it comes off of them in waves, and anyone who's around them, it affects them. And I'm not saying that they do that on purpose, but I'm just saying this is one of these type of people where you can just feel it off of them. And so until you get rid of this person out of your life, any connection to them, any communication with them, you don't see them, don't talk to them, whatever, your energy will absolutely be blocked, as if the magician had been turned on his head. It's a very rare card to get. All right, Aquarius, I'm going to call it right there. You know what to do. This is your weekly reading for July 1st to July 8th. I don't know what else to tell you, man. It's there. So if I were you, I would certainly handle this situation. I am very curious. Any Aquarius out there who's dealing with something like this, please sound off in the comments. I will be really curious what you're going through. I will respond, certainly. And if there's enough comments about this particular situation, I'd be more than happy to do a follow-up on this, because it's quite an interesting circumstance of energies. But for right now, I love you, Aquarius, and you guys have a good week. Bye-bye.